Hey everybody, I wanted to come at you today with this real world scenario video of yes, this just happened. A client check-in of mine was telling me about a story. She wanted to share what actually happened, transpired with her last night. And it's a good teachable moment, so I wanted to share it with you. I have this lady client, late 30s to mid 40s. She travels a lot, so she finds herself often in restaurants or hotels or bars slash restaurants. So this actually happened to her last night. This is her actual email, and I'm going to share it with you as a teachable moment that people just don't get it, and the lies they tell themselves that end up trapping them into stuff that'll never work. So here's her email, and hopefully some of you will get it, some of you won't. So she says, last night, here I am at a bar. Next to me is a very overweight woman in her late 30s. She ordered a crab cake, which came to her smothered in melted cheese, etc. Myself, I ordered a side of steamed rice and veggies with tofu, and I ordered half of the portion to go. I made conversation with the other lady. She says to me she feels she's being bad for eating dinner at all because she's not supposed to, but she was way too hungry. She's trying the keto diet, so she is not allowed to eat more than 30 grams of carbs, she says, but at the same time she was also having a glass of wine since they were both sitting at a bar. So glass of wine, a crab cake covered with cheese, melted cheese, and wasn't supposed to be eating dinner and felt guilty and felt bad about herself for doing so. That's a side note from me. I politely asked her if she believed that her keto diet was a sustainable strategy. She said no with a look of resignation on her face. Then she looked at me and said, well, you're slim. You don't have my problems. You can afford eating carbs. And I looked back at her and replied politely, I look like this because I eat a lot of carbs. I couldn't imagine a life without carbs, and I certainly would not be able to maintain my figure without carbs either. Conversation ended then. The lady didn't like hearing that response, obviously. So here we have a real world scenario that plays itself out far too often out there amongst consumers who just don't get it. So here's a lady starving, wasn't supposed to eat dinner, which makes no sense, but is eating it in a restaurant, orders a crab cake smothered with cheese and a glass of wine, and feels guilty and bad about herself. She's trying to follow a keto diet because she thinks she can't eat carbs, and people who are slim who do eat carbs, instead of serving as teachers for what maybe you should do because success leaves clues, she tells herself the lie that you don't have my problems, so you can afford to eat carbs. So what we see here is a lady who really can't afford to not be eating carbs, who keeps telling herself over and over again that she can't be eating carbs and that keto is this shiny new object that she already can't maintain and already can't sustain and is already making her feel bad about herself. So here we go again, a real world scenario, a teachable moment where we see time and time again that people just don't get it. So not only does she think, oh, well, I can't eat carbs, but her actual behavior and thought patterns show that she can't not be eating carbs. And that is hence why she ends up trapped in an overweight body and thinking that struggling and starving and feeling bad about herself is the solution. That'll never work. And that's just a really, really good example of things that unfold in the real world. And this happened to my client last night, actually, as she was stuck in a hotel restaurant for dinner. And like I said, she ordered rice with veggies and tofu with half of it to go, and then easy peasy. And the other lady struggles with shouldn't be eating at all, but orders a crab cake with melted cheese and then tells herself the lie that she can't eat carbs and therefore struggling, feeling bad about herself, and etc., etc. So hopefully some people will learn from that. Some people won't. Some people will make excuses and yeah buts. But there's a real world scenario that should serve as a teaching moment, and some of you will get it and some of you won't. See you in the next video.